to go!
The day has come.
Yoo!
Now we embark, little buddy.
But first, we cracked some bubbly.
I think it is only fitting if we embark on our maiden voyage by, what do you call it? You christen the ship. Yay!
But first, fuel.
I think this is going to become a pretty common recurrence. It's not like we're not used to it. It's just it's different smelling this time. And much more expensive. Go, go, go! We made it to our first camp spot. Right on the ocean. What are we thinking?
First night in Denmark, first night out of the country, my gosh. But it feels so good.
It's not very warm, is it?
Freedom.
Our boy's a little bit sick, so we're keeping him very rugged up. Drive was great. Skadi performed like an absolute goddess. And we've got a really nice little campsite. Bit muddy, but nice and sheltered. It's, what's the time? It's like 3:30.
Yeah.
And it gets dark, sun goes down at 4:30.
That's so depressing.
That sucks.
Oh my gosh, it's such a deep one. Oh gosh.
Good boy. Boys will be boys. Yay! Oh.
Yeah, so first impression of the drive, like I find it so much more comfortable than Bowser. I've got a heated seat, which I absolutely love. The seats are so comfortable. It's less bumpy, I feel like, than Bowser, less noisy.
Yeah, and the engine heater is cranked hot air, so that's been good.
As well, very surprising, the camper does not make any noise. I was expecting to hear like the plates or anything. It's so quiet and less stressful than Bowser, because Bowser, we didn't know what would happen at the back and would open the camper.
And often something had happened. But today, yeah, everything's tight.
We can just monitor, I can just turn around, I can reach Oakley still. A little bit different than the Australian beach.
Oh, there's people in the water. Crazy.
And here's the bridge that we're going to take tomorrow.
Oh, we're taking this bridge tomorrow. Okay. Cool. Very cool. Oh, she's brutal.
All right, day 2.
Day 2. Let's see how well she starts after a cold night. That's pretty good.
A pretty good night of sleep. We were really sheltered, no wind overnight. It is a little bit cold, but yeah, we're working on like solution to make our diesel heater more efficient to get into the bed. Like the heat struggles to rise a little bit at the moment. So yeah, we're working on brainstorming how we can make that better. So yeah, the plan today is to get to the other side of Denmark through the bridge. And we're still gonna take some small roads. We prefer to take small roads than the highway at the moment. that we can stop to check anything on the truck, because it is the first time we're doing such long driving, and we can check on Oakley and, you know, just take our time. It's less stressful for us for now, and it's better to see the scenery as well. It's nice autumn colors in Denmark at the moment, so yeah, pumped for day 2. No idea where we'll end up tonight, but that's the beauty of overlanding. It's wet. That's a happy boy. Start of day 3. Pretty nice spot in a lush forest. Did you have a good morning?
Yeah, I enjoyed my nature poo. Yeah, no, it's been great. So nice to get back out and about, isn't it?
Oh, so good. This was a really quiet spot. I've been using the app Park4Night at the moment to find camps for us, and I'm always trying to get some down like a dirt road. So yesterday we did a bit more driving, I think around 260 kilometers. We went on that second toll bridge, which was really impressive, and just some random little towns. And we found a really nice forest that we drove through. There was like some muddy patch. Yeah, I feel like we were going off-road. It was nothing intense, obviously, but yeah, there was a nice feeling to just drive a bit off the beaten path and just enjoy the forest. We don't have, you know, like these kind of seasons in Australia, so it's refreshing, although I'm not a big fan of the rain, so I'm hoping that we get a bit better weather in the coming days. Today the plan is to cross to country number 3, well, technically country number 2, which is Germany. So yeah, that's the plan. This morning we'll go explore, go for a walk, and let Dada do some work around the truck. So far everything is running pretty smoothly.
Yes, very, very happy.
It could have been
awful.
Yeah, it could have been awful because we actually didn't do the shakedown trip. So this is our shakedown trip. So I found the ultimate trick to make a toddler walk is to have a camera with a flashlight on it, and then it goes to it. Okay, look at the bird. The water. Bird, yes. Bird.
Good morning. A update from Germany. So we are at the very top of Germany in Flensburg. Didn't have the best day yesterday because unfortunately we broke down. So what's happened, the way that we got here was I've run a fuel line from basically behind the tank up into the jerry can. So we drove here for about maybe 15 kilometers from the jerry can. Now what has happened is, I won't show you completely under there because it's filthy, but we got some sputtering when we were on the highway and kind of lost power. So I went underneath and checked, and it looked like the fuel pickup line had blocked up. Unfortunately, it looks like it's the lining from inside the tank. Basically, these tanks on the inside, there's like a white, don't know what it's made out of, it's like an anti-rust lining. We were getting pretty, to put it mildly, pretty average fuel economy, so I put in a cleaner, a fuel additive cleaner, hoping that maybe there was something in the carbs that needed a bit of a flush out. Now that was completely my fault. I probably shouldn't have done that, because what it's done is I think it's taken the lining off of that fuel tank. So yeah, really upsetting. So when I tried to get that line off, it's basically snapped like a little kind of copper nipple. So we basically had just a gaping hole in our fuel tank, which I managed to plug. And today my mission is to go around a bunch of hydraulics doors and see if I can find a similar nipple that will fit with the thread in there, and then work out if I can maybe unplug some of this white stuff through the pickup line. And if I can't, then I need to run it out of the jerry can until we can get somewhere where I can drop this tank again and see if I can clean this stuff out. But this is not really where we intended to spend the night. A little free camp in the middle of town, but that's okay. But yeah, truck's looking good. It's been working well. Probably shouldn't have messed with a good thing, but never mind. So it has been a few days since we last spoke to you. I think maybe 2 days. So anyway, so that kind of started a sort of a 2-day fiasco of me walking up highways trying to speak German. No, not trying to speak German, but trying to translate to German only speaking people kind of the parts I needed. Now, a bunch of legends on the Volvo forum helped me out so much. So like that was incredible. Got instant help from a bunch of mates on that forum, so thank you so much, guys. Gave me a lot of peace of mind that I could fix it myself. Basically, long story very short, sorted it out, and then we went back to Denmark, which was only like a 15-20 minute drive, and camped for a couple of nights at a very nice campground just to recuperate, do some washing, have showers. It's been really wet and drizzly the whole time, so we had like kind of a bunch of wet gear, and it's a bit cold and miserable. We're not used to it, right? We're used to Australian camping, so it was nice to go to a campground and just chill out for a little bit. I went into the engine bay kind of area, pulled those hatches off, and I looked at the distributor, looked at the spark plugs, looked at the air filter, just did kind of a bunch of stuff that I should have done before we started the trip. In my defense, I kind of deemed the gearbox and the engine this no-go zone, because I kind of obviously originally was just going to be pulling it out and not using it at all. But then when I decided, okay, now we'll do some driving in the petrol, I probably should have maybe done a little bit more of my homework into the engine itself. But everything seems to be running okay. We're getting horrendous fuel economy, but I'm okay with us driving at least. Other than that, everything has been going really well. The camper has been going great. I'll give you like a proper rundown at some point, I guess. We are just now waiting for a ferry in this drizzly weather to cross the river Elbe, and it's like a 20-minute ferry crossing, and then we'll find a campsite somewhere over there.
We're trying to avoid going to Hamburg and do the big busy motorway, so yeah, that will be the fastest way for us.
Don't really have much to do in Germany this time, so we kind of just want to mosey on through and meet a couple of people in the Netherlands, and I've got a few bits to do on the vehicle with some parts that are arriving in the Netherlands. Camped in this very nice forest overnight last night. Whereabouts would we be, Ange?
Where are we? Somewhere in Germany.
We're somewhere in Germany. It's a really beautiful spot. Man, there were some really crazy noises at like 5 AM this morning. I think it must have been like elk or something in roar being matched by dogs barking, but it was a really spooky noise. It's quite cool. Interestingly, there's a German World War II memorial here. It's a pretty moving spot. Obviously, I've never actually been to a German war memorial. I've been to plenty of Kiwi, Australian war memorials. But yeah, interesting to actually see one, obviously on the other side of the conflict. So each stone has a man's name on it. So there's a huge amount. There's, you know, a good 100 or so just in this grove here. And I find it interesting, they're all arranged in a circle, which I've not seen that on the western side. I've never seen them laid out in a circle before. Normally they're laid out in rows, right? So that's interesting. And I apologize to any Germans if this is disrespectful to film. I don't know if it is or not, but I don't mean any disrespect. But I'll just show you in here. And we have some names and dates along here, like this poor guy was only 20 years old. And then you've got the big headstone here, 1939 to 1945. You've got names in the middle as well. They're all lined up in this circle. And you've also here, I guess these are unnamed soldiers, or unidentified soldiers. We've got four lads together there. Yeah, one big aim for me in particular, not so much Ange, is I would love to see some, you know, points of interest from World War II, from that conflict. I mean, I grew up with a huge interest in it. Not a morbid fascination, but just a massive interest in the fact that, for instance, my high school, Christchurch Boys High School, during World War II, obviously World War I as well, but World War II lost, you know, a third of the guys of high school age up in the senior years went to war and died. Like it was a really big deal for us at our school, our war memorial there. And you know, just growing up going to Anzac Days and things like that, so it's going to be really good for me to be able to see some of these places that I've learned so much about, and having a big keen interest in history. So one big one is going to the Ardennes. I've been to Normandy before, but I'm really keen to go again and take Ange this time. She's never been. She didn't realise that the Kiwis and the Australians fought to liberate France as well, so I think it'll be really good for her to see some of that as well, I think. Oh, sunshine. Wow, we set down one. We have finally found a relatively secluded spot in the countryside here in the Netherlands. We're having an enjoyable time, actually. It's just proving very difficult to find any kind of solitary places, isn't it? Which we expected in these countries, so that's no problem at all. But there's a really nice, beautiful forest behind us. We've just found a nice parking. Oakley is on a little mission. We're airing the tent out. I'm going to adjust the front right brakes. So started to drag a tiny bit. And we're going to have some lunch. So yeah. Nothing major on the agenda. Actually, our main goal today is to have showers here. So we want showers and we want Oakley to be able to have a bath. So that's pretty cool.
All right, little man is having some lunch. Feeling better, buddy? So that's usually what we do when one of us has to do like a chore or anything. So for example, I had to make lunch, the other one takes Oakley for a little walk and burn some energy. We get a bit more space just to get things done. So now it feels much better. But yeah, I've got a huge respect for parents who've got more than one child, because overlanding with a toddler is definitely proving a bit more difficult than we would have thought, but we're getting there, we're getting used to it, and Oakley is still adapting quite well. But yeah, it is quite tricky at times. So today we're gonna relax here, take a bit of our time, not driving. It's actually the first day since we've left Sweden that we're not gonna drive in the afternoon. So the reason why we're skipping all this country quite fast is we have to get to France to validate Chris' visa. We have to apply for another one, actually, so another year. So once this is out of the way, we'll be heading south towards the warmer weather and hopefully relax a little bit more. Right now it's a bit more like go, go, go. So yeah, we're still a little bit stressed and not relaxed. We're still trying to make the most of it. We are in country number 4. We have made it to the Netherlands. So far we've been really enjoying our time here. It's quite peaceful, really pretty countryside. We have some mist in the morning. People are friendly, smiling. So yeah, that's been a nice surprise in that respect. And yesterday we actually met another Volvo owner. Her name is Robin, Overlanding Robin on social media. So she's doing a full rebuild of the smaller Volvo, the Volvo C304, the TGB 11. So yeah, really cool to meet her. We're probably gonna meet another Volvo owner in the coming days and then start to head toward France. So yeah, that's the rough plan. But this afternoon, chill time. Alright, so now that we have made it to our 4th country, it is time for me to introduce you to the sponsor of this video, Olight. So if you're not familiar with Olight, they offer eSIM cards. So we've never used the eSIM card with Chris before, and I was actually very impressed how easy it was to install. So the first thing we did was checking that our mobile phone were compatible. You can do that on the Olight website. Then once ordered, we received the eSIM cards by email. We just had to scan a QR code and make sure that our data roaming was on, and that's it. We have internet. So yeah, that was super easy, just took a few minutes. So it's a no-brainer for anyone traveling overseas, or especially across different countries, crossing borders. You don't have to go to physical store, buy the actual SIM card and change them over every time. We chose the European package, which covers 40 countries, so we don't have to worry about anything during our European travels. And the best thing about it, especially if you work remotely like us, or if you can't do any content creation, is they offer unlimited data. So it's great. You don't have any hidden fee, any roaming fee. You don't have to worry about any of that. So if you're interested in getting an eSIM card from Olight, we've got a discount code, theoutfit, and I'll put the link in the description below.
Hello.
Say hi.
Didn't do my hair.
So, back in here. New CV boot. Thank you to Luke. Where's the old one? Gonna see some sheep.
You're gonna see the sheep.
Yeah. Look at this little weapon. Daihatsu Rocky. Didn't get these in Oz or New Zealand. Cool.
Oh my gosh.
So Luke is being very generous with his time and fixing a exhaust leak that he's found right near the headers at the kind of the start of the exhaust pipe. So he's just MIG welding that up.
That's what it should do.
It's been really good to have Luke's help. He knows a lot more about this stuff than I do in terms of like spark plugs and just petrol motors in general, I guess. So yeah, when he found that exhaust leak, because he kind of noticed it because the truck was running a lot louder than he thinks it should, whereas I didn't notice that because I've never really been in other TGBs. So, and because I was describing all the fumes coming in that smelt pretty noxious, and I was a bit scared for Oakley's sake, he had a little look, felt around, and felt the kind of the exhaust gases coming out when I started the motor. And then we did compression check on all of the cylinders. And that was results not too bad, but the long story short is it's using a lot of oil, and we're trying to work out where it's actually going. Doesn't seem to be smoking, so yeah, we'll try and figure that out, I guess.
Awesome. That's better.
Better. So one of the big jobs we tackled yesterday was the 2 CV beats. So as you guys know, they were pretty much brand new. I got them from Asli 4x4 in Malaysia, and I've explained this before, but they're like a off-road racing kind of truck circuit over in Malaysia that have the TGB axles underneath some really cool Jeeps and things. So I'd assumed that they would really know how to build a really good CV boot, but I was wrong, and they're not up to the task at all. Like, we've done not even 1,000 kilometers, none of that off-road, and we already had a complete tear through one of them. And the problem with the CVs is they are lubricated by oil, not just grease. So it was flinging all of the basic portal hub oil everywhere, and would have ended up draining that completely and burning out the portal. So I really had to be fixed immediately, basically. So replace those with Tatanka boots, which I should have bought in the first place. So that took up quite a bit of time. And then I also took out with Luke a bit of play in this Kingpin hub setup here. Sort of the steering knuckle part of it. We removed a shim and put in a slightly thinner one, and that took the play out of it. So that should be a much nicer ride on this wheel here, which is good.
It looks really terrible.
The Dutch Don. Nice. But engine's running pretty well. Like, it idles nice. The only problem is that the cold starts are weird. Like, it requires to be a lot warmer than it probably should do, so something's going on there. But for all intents and purposes, the cylinders have enough compression, a respectable amount of compression. I'll put those up on the screen actually, what they are and what they should be. They're obviously down, but nothing extraordinarily bad. So that we're looking for like leak via the piston rings or valve seals. It could be a bit of both, where we're losing oil through the valve seals maybe. We don't know for sure. So new spark plugs, distributor seems fine, that's all nice and clean. Carbs are running okay, and I got the fuel consumption right down by playing around with my Filter King. So we were up really high and I got that down quite a lot, so that's pretty good. And this is kind of the last major job before we'll sort of hit the road again, I guess, because we've lost any remotely nice weather. It's now really cold and overcast with rain coming here in the Netherlands, so we'll head into Belgium pretty soon, I think, and from there just try and find some tracks, because we really want to be able to take this thing off road, right? So, well, the other thing I did was I stiffened up the compression and the rebound on the high speed, the low speed, and the rebound on the shocks in the back, and that stiffened up the back quite nicely, because when we were originally put them on, obviously we had no weight in the truck. That's really helped, and so easy to do. I'll do the front today. It's just 3 different dials that you play around with at a guess, really. Like it's not something that I've got on paper. I'm just sort of guessing and feeling for it. So thanks to those Dobinson shocks, they are so nice. I'm going to take Luke and his girlfriend for a spin in the TGB today, and get them to feel what it feels like in comparison to Luke's 11 here. And the exciting news is he's going to do a diesel swap as well as a body off kind of rebuild sort of cleanup, because they want to be able to take the 11 on some extended trips. So that's pretty neat. So there's now 2 people that are going to be both doing the OM diesel swap. I said it OM, I'm not going to tell you exactly which one. So yeah, that's going to be cool. I still need to find a place to do the swap, so that'll be interesting. We don't know where we'll be yet when I pluck up the courage to do that. Okay, so we are back on the road. So a huge thank you to Luke and Jamie. They had us for a few days and were so kind and welcoming with us, and obviously Oakley as well. So we got some good work done on the truck, and now we are ready to rumble. Could have stayed there for longer, of course, but time to go. So now we are heading into Belgium. In fact, we'll be there in about 5 minutes in Belgium, and we are going to look for some nice forestry tracks, because it looks like Belgium, on an app that we've started using, has some really nice forestry tracks that we're allowed to be on. So that is the plan. We'll be able to get some sort of off-roading, green lighting on film finally, which will be really nice. But unfortunately the weather is now backing up, but you can't win them all. So we're going to head through today, and hopefully tomorrow there'll be some tracks.
Wow, that's cute.
That's nice.
One thing we've definitely noticed in these kind of little villages is we do not miss Basel in this instance. There are so many places where we would have not been able to take the Mog, either restricted by its weight, like so many places like more than 5 tons you can't even go, by its height, lots of height restriction with bridge, tunnels, and just awkward like tiny little 1-lane roads like we are right now. So I think having the Volvo in Europe, it's gonna be so good in the respect that
Yeah,
a lot of stress for
it already
price.
feels tight in this. And this is at least 50 centimeters narrower.
Yeah, it's much more nimble. It's just under 6 meter long right now. We are just on a 2.6 meter high, and we are around 1.9 meter wide. So just give you an idea, compared to Basel, we are much more
And we
nimble.
are 4.1 ton. We got ourselves weighed. So we are, was it 4.1 ton?
Yeah.
4.1 ton. And Bowser fully loaded is 10 ton. And we're pretty much fully loaded. At the max for us, we would be 4.2. So we're within our GVM requirements, but not by a lot. So I'm very glad I used Poplar for a large portion of the build, and we were careful within reason with our weight. Belgium.
Country number 5.
Yeah, we are official overlanders now. We're actually going from country to country by vehicle.